got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Hi, y'all. Welcome to the show. It's Thursday again. It is, tonight is the men's forum for men only at 7 p.m. At 7 p.m. tonight, every first Thursday night. And believe it or not, it is November, the first Thursday of the month. Can you believe that? Amazing. Well, the one good thing about time rushing is that it is rushing us to re-elect the great white hope. If ever we need a fast move to voting time, is now. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for this week, and it's another doozy, very interesting responses from it. About it. Are you a beautiful person? Are you a beautiful person? Isn't that a very interesting biblical question? Are you a beautiful person? And again, these biblical questions are set up or put out there so you, the individual, can examine yourself, know thyself. The beginning of life is to know thyself. And most people do not know themselves. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're working out, protesting at one of these universities or fighting one another or whatever you might be doing right now, you can be listening to the show while doing what you're doing, when you're doing what you're doing. On your iPhone or iPad, you can podcast the show later, but you could be listening while you're doing what you're doing by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us on cozy.tv/JLP. Cozy.tv/JLP, and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. And then to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com. buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, and rebuildingtheman.com. You can go there as well. Rebuildingtheman.com, and Bond JLP on Cash App. All right, all kinds of ways. It is Thursday again, as I said earlier, and every Thursday is Bible Thumper Thursday. And for those who are tuned in for the first time, we take all calls, but those calls that call in about the Bible, about the Word, we take them right away because it is Bible Thumper Thursday. Even though we're taking all calls, I want to talk to the Bible Thumper people, so we set aside Thursday to have a little bit more time with them, a little bit, because it's difficult to talk to Bible Thumpers. They go from word to word. And so I put they need a hug as well, right? They need attention. So I put aside Thursday for Bible Thumper Thursday. So this is Thursday. Even though we're taking all calls, it is Bible Thumper Thursday.
Una persona che pensa soltanto in fare muri non è cristiano.
He actually said that maybe I'm not a good Christian or something. It's unbelievable, which is really not a nice thing to say.
White conservative evangelicals are Christian frauds.
It's a disgrace.
My wife is ordained minister.
President Joe Biden has never been shy about his faith.
What amazing. That's amazing. What this old world coming to. This morning, I was watching a little news. It's hard to know what's true anymore in the news, but I was watching a little news, and they were showing all the conflict now between the Jews and the non-Jews, the people of color. Palestinians and blacks and everything else mixed in there, right? And across our country, it's just a mess right now. A mess. Students fighting students and crowds of people gathered around the Jewish kids, and it's a real mess. All over the world is like this. It's not just in my country, but my country come first. And it's not like though I didn't pay a lot of attention to the protests back in the 60s, but it's not like that, even though that wasn't good either, the protests and carried on in the 60s. These rallies are filled with hate on both sides for one another. They're filled with hate, with anger. Because if you were to ask, if not all, most of the young folks out there at these so-called schools, why are you fighting? They wouldn't know why. They will quote to you what they've heard in the media and what their so-called liberal friends or so-called conservative friends have said to them as to why they're doing it, but they don't really know why they're out there doing it. And they're really nasty to one another. It is horrible in that anger and evil, which is the same, has been and is being promoted as good. And also, it only shows, not only, but it shows that things are only going to get worse in my country and not better. And I know a lot of people say, well, why you always say that things are not going to get better in the country? Look around you. Just look around you. You have young people totally out of control now from all races of people. It doesn't matter the religion. It doesn't matter the quote-unquote culture. It doesn't matter. There is no love. Zero love. And for the most part, you don't see really any adults trying to stop it. Hey, this is not the right way. What is wrong with you? What are you fighting for? What are you going to get out of it? Nobody is asking them that so that they can hopefully reflect on what they are doing. And I've said over and over again that anyone that has anger is evil. And unfortunately, around the world, but in my country, I put my country first, anger has taken over now. And it's only going to get worse because they are turning it over to the women. More and more, they're turning society over to the women in government, in schools, in the homes, and everywhere. So it cannot get better. And the men are just pathetically weak. They act like, they sound like, they do exactly what women do. And they're not leading the women out of the hell that they were supposed to be doing. They were created to do. And it's because they have not overcome the spirit of the mother and returned to the father. And so the female spirit, which is evil, is destroying the whole world. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. And it's the darndest thing that I'm shocked that I can see it, but glad that I see it. So I'm blessed. But it's a female spirit. Women are being told that they were created to lead, and it just ain't true. It ain't never going to work. It didn't work. It ain't going to work. Not going to work. Blah, blah, blah work. Even in these churches now, the preachers are doing the same thing that the secular world is doing. They're putting the devil before the church through the woman. And the gates of hell is wide open and coming through. It's a spiritual thing, whether you realize it or not. Whether you realize it or not, see it or not, believe it or not, accept it or not. Why do you think human beings attack one another? It's a feminine spirit. It's evil. You know, in the good old days, you would never or hardly see men doing these things. But the males today, 100% the mindset of the woman, they don't know it. Emotional like the woman, they worship the woman, and the poor ladies, they like starving for a real man to lead them out of the desert into the promised land. And there are just no men to do it. And so there are some ladies, and I've seen them, met them, worked with them, who have come to realize these men are not going to lead me out of the promised land, out of the desert into the promised land. I'm going to have to work on it myself. And they're right about that. And the churches are as bad as the secular. There's no different, to be honest, because the churches are pushing women to be preachers, deacons, run the church. It's the same spirit. The military, same spirit. In the home, same spirit. Because the men just don't have the know-how to bring the woman out of her darkness. Because they're in there, they never overcame mama. You're put on this earth to overcome your abnormal nature, men and women, into your normal nature. The nature of evil into the nature of love. You were put on this earth to return to your Father. You were put here to return to your Father. And it's everything but that. It's everything. I'm looking at these college young adults fighting one another. I mean, literally fighting one another. And I realized their fathers were no good. all thousands of them have the spirit of their mother, which is evil, which is anger. Anyone that has anger has the spirit of their mother or grandmother or both. And they worship the devil, men and women. So these college young folks are fighting one another because they have the spirit of their mother, and they don't need a reason why they're doing it. They'll just make up one, whatever you offer them. And that's with the male and the females, because they don't know why they're out there doing this. And they're not going to get anything from it at all except the thrill of fighting one another. Look how the blacks attack the whites. And they're doing it all for the thrill of it. And not that they're gaining anything. But it's the thrill of... I saw what seemed to be some black guys on Twitter, I guess, just literally beat it. I don't know where I seen it. I just happened to hit my computer and I saw it. Some little skinny white kid. And you got about 5 or 6 little black kids just kicking them in the head, beating them up. And you can look at them and you can see that they were getting a thrill out of beating up one little kid. It's all for the thrill. Anyone that's into the thrill of it, you love evil. That's why you look for thrills. When husband and wives are fighting one another, they're only fighting for the thrill of it. They try to get what they want from one another, and that's the thrill of it. When men and women date other men and women, and they've already been married and or have children, they don't care about the children. They'll know that they shouldn't be doing it, but the thrill of doing it anyway, knowing that the kids are suffering, is what drives them. Anyone that loves thrill is evil, and all angry people love thrills. And they will hunt you down if you are not for the thrill of it. I was listening to the Hake report yesterday, and if you didn't hear it, you should podcast, thehakereport.com. Very interesting show, and it was all about the thrill of it. Hake was interviewing a young man who, I guess he was mixed with all different type of races thing in his blood, but he used the N-word, he said. And the people who love their thrill got mad and called in and yelling and screaming and cussing and carrying on for the thrill of it. Otherwise, why would a word bother you? Oh, that's supposed to help me know what that is? Thank you. Krishan the Don. I had him on the Father State as well. Krishan the Don of Misfit Nation. Check it out. It was very interesting. And he was like men yelling and screaming over a word. And the thrill of getting upset over a word. Thrills are evil. But people live off thrills. They work overtime. They'll hunt you down to attack you to try to get a reaction so they can get a thrill. And the thrill of hunting you down to go after you is evil. The unfortunate, well, not unfortunate thing. The reality is, I don't know if it's unfortunate. You know, people want to suffer. You let them suffer in their hell. How you going to, just think about that. As an adult or a child, but especially adult, how you get mad over a word. Somebody used the N-word or whatever word. It's just a word. Why it means so much to you? Why do you let that word into your world to affect you and then blame somebody else for making you feel that way, you say? When will you wake up and realize you're responsible for your life? You're responsible for your world. What's happening in you is happening in you. It ain't happening out there. It's in you. And yes, the people out there try to hurt you because they're hurt themselves in their own world. And misery love company. So these kids that are fighting over this stupid war in Israel and around the world, they have no good fathers. Because I promise you, if they had grown up close to their fathers, the men and the women, the boys and the girls, they would not be protesting today. They would see there's nothing to protest about. Whoever doing these wars, they have an agenda. And I'm not going to support them in their agenda, they would say. War is not the answer, they would say. Lay your weapon down, they would say. But they don't love the Father. They have no peace. You can always, listen to, you can bank on this one. You can literally bank on it. If you want to know what the spirit of the mother look like, look at the children. If you want to know if the father failed the mother and the children, look at the children. Just look at them. They're angry. That tell you right then they have the spirit of their mother. Their father did not protect them. The father was no good. He let the woman rule. Christ came sent by his Father, even though the dumb Christian want to call Christ God. Even though he tell you that my Father sent me. Why would he, isn't that he didn't know English? Why would he tell you my Father sent me if he was God, the Father himself? He would say, you know what, I decided to come and help y'all. I decided to come to bring you peace. But he's telling you that somebody else sent me. And the dummies still believe that Jesus is God because somebody said it. And it's stuck. And now it's hard to unstick. And as a result, they have no peace. It's Bible Thumper Thursday. And unless you return to the Father, you're never going to have peace. There's no way to get it, no other way, except a return to the Father. In John 20:21, Jesus said, peace be with you, as the Father has sent me. Peace be with you, as the Father has sent me. When he have said, peace be with you, I came. I'm God. This man telling you somebody else sent me. It was like when you order food from Uber food thing, and they deliver the food to your house, and you look out and see the person getting out of the car, putting the food on your whatever, ring your doorbell. You thinking the cafe came itself? Or do you think the Uber driver came? Peace be with you. As the Father has sent me, I am sending you. As the Father has loved me, so I've loved you. Abide in my love. Jesus is abiding in the Father's love. And likewise, you got to abide in the Father's love, or you don't have love and you never will. You can hang it up. Emotion, what they call emotional love, is not love, it's hate. And it's the spirit of the woman, and not her spirit per se, but the spirit that made a home in her, which is evil. And they have no peace. Jesus said, peace be with you. If you have returned to the Father, you will have peace. And the world will go nuts in their own way, and you will not be a part of it. You'll be in the world, but not of it. But you have no peace. So now you're in the world, of it, and being controlled by it. And it's all hell. Jesus said, peace be with you. As the Father has sent me, I am sending you. As the Father has loved me, so I have loved you. Abide in my love. Ain't nobody abiding in love. Nobody. Emotional love is not love. Dispassionate love is love. Dispassionate love is peace. Dispassionate love comes from the Father. Emotional love comes from the woman, which is through Satan. And this passionate love comes through the Father, which is of God. And the fathers are not passing out love because they have no love. They only have the emotion of their mother. The beauty is, for those who decide to take control of their own life, you can literally have peace right here on earth. And when the world turned against you, you would not be moved by it. Zero moved by it. But you got to work on you. You got to return to the Father. You must be born again. Return the Father to the children. Malachi 4:6. He will turn the hearts of the father to their children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers. He will turn the hearts of the fathers to their children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers. That's the last thing the woman wants you to do, is to return to the Father. And men with female spirits, that's the last thing they want you to do, is to return to your Father. They have the mama spirit. They do not want your heart to return to the Father. God said that's what should be done, and He will do it if you want it, for all people. It doesn't matter if you're Allah U'aba people, Jewish people, Christian people, whatever your little religion thing is. The devil people. And He will turn the hearts of the father to their children and the hearts of the children to their father. And every human being, everyone, I don't care where you are, every human being, hearts have been turned away from the Father. Simply being born through the woman. The woman, not understanding what she's doing in most cases, she loved her hell, she called it mama's love, and she turned the children from the fathers. And in Malachi 4:6, He will turn the hearts of the fathers to their children and the hearts of the children to their fathers. And women are so evil today that they would do whatever they can. They'll literally destroy that child. And the child be like, no, mother, stop. And it's a thrill for the mother to see the kids cry and tell her to stop. Leave my father alone, leave me alone. It's a thrill that she get worse. They'll take the children to court, whatever it takes, to destroy that child to keep his heart or her heart from the Father. It's a spiritual battle, folks. It is evil versus good. And the evil spirit is coming through the woman. That's why she must return to the Father as well by forgiving her mother. If she does not love her earthly father, she will never love God. She will always have the spirit of the mother. She come into this world unconscious, he or she, and they will live a life unconscious life and end up dying in an unconscious state, and you're stuck. Hell is yours forever. And you think your fight is physical. You think it's racist. You think it's due to the lack of money. You think it's the police. You think it's white or black. You think it's this or that. You've been lied to by your father, the devil, the great deceiver. You have peace right here on earth and give the finger to the world. 888-7753-773. I'll be back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality. Okay, welcome back. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. The Hake Report from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. Make sure you podcast the Hake show from yesterday. It was interesting. It was deep. For a lot of people, some people are not going to see it, the reality of what it was about, but for those who are seeking, the men and women who are seeking, you'll see what I'm talking about. And James Hake was on fire yesterday. I'm like, what the? Men's Forum tonight at 7 p.m. Every third Thursday night, the Men's Forum for men only. And ladies, don't worry. We got you. Every third Thursday night for ladies only at 7 p.m. And those lady forums are on fire. I remember when some of the ladies first started out in those meetings, it was a little hard for them, I know you're right, but I just can't admit it. But once they really, really got serious about it and started seeing what was happening inside of them, the meetings exploded. To the point, like the meetings end between 8:30 and 9, the ladies still want to stand around and talk, as the men. They want more fellowship. So this Men's Forum tonight at 7 p.m., and then, last but not least, the American Anchor Baby at 12 noon today. The American Anchor Baby. I was listening to his show, too. I got a chance to yesterday. It was very interesting stuff I had not realized until I heard him talking about them. So the American Anchor Baby at 12 noon today. He did a special on Halloween, flying high on natural energy given to him by God. Not how fentanyl, not how pot, not how speed, not how anything but real natural energy. The American Anchor Baby podcast that. It was mind-blowing. It went on a long time because it was so interesting. I want to urge you, do what you want, right? No sweat off my back. Stay in your hell and be miserable. It's up to you. The way has been made. The Father has sent the Son to tell you the way out of your hell is a return to the Father. Ain't no other way out. A return to love. Love as he has loved you. And that's for every man, woman, and child. All this fighting going on in my country with the people in these stupid universities and everywhere, it just ain't nothing coming out of the good at all. It ain't going to make one iota of a change. Not for the good. Because they are being brainwashed. Look at the generations and generation of blacks for the last 70 years or so, give or take. Don't you see they have gotten worse? Each younger generation, each next generation got worse. They have no love. They have no fathers. And the last thing their mothers want them to know, the last thing their mothers want them to know, and their grandmother, that you need to return to your father. Your father is where the freedom is. You should love your father. They ain't mama is queen. The evil spirit, the God below is the God of the woman, and the God above is the God of man. But until men return to the God above, the woman is their God. And that's why they can't do anything with mama, with grandmama, with the women they date, or anyone. And women are starving for men to be right. Starving for it. If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. That's what the men say to the women. But the women are so starving for men to be right, they walk around naked now, at the gym and everywhere. And they're looking for the love of a father. The kids who are protesting right now these days, on either side, both sides, they're looking for the love of a father. And every man who is not returned to the Father let his family down. He's no good of a man. He let his family down because he's trying to get something from the woman that she doesn't have to give, and she's trying to get something from him that he doesn't have to give, and that is love. And love is not emotional at all. Emotional love is hate. That's why it's up and down. You're supposed to love without requiring anything from anyone else because you are of love. Your heart is of love. Christ came and he loved, sent by God, his Father. He ain't God. And he didn't need no love from anybody on earth. He wasn't trying to get love. He didn't need any love. And he had a fun time on earth. Because he was of love already. And when you return to your Father, men and women of all races, it doesn't matter what religion, you return to your Father, you're going to lay your weapon down because you're going to be completed. You're going to be whole. You're going to be one. And the children of the lie, they'll see you, and in their mind, because in their world they're blind, they're going to think you feel what they feel. They're going to think you're thinking what they're thinking, and you're not. Because those are their thoughts in their world, but they think their thoughts are your thoughts. Because the great deceiver deceives them. Seek first the kingdom of God and his right way, and all will be added unto you. It really, I cannot tell you how real that is. Seek first the kingdom of God, and all will be added unto you. But ain't nobody seeking. A few are seeking now. Most are not. Let me just say this, and then I get to your calls and super chat. I want to repeat it because it's bad for the Christians who think Jesus is God. I want you to you can prove me wrong. The Christians who think Jesus is God, just kind of watch them, and you see how irritable they are. You see how unhappy they really are. You see that they still have anger. You see that they're still lonely. They have fear. But they know the word. And they are fully convinced that Jesus is God. Even though Jesus said, my Father has sent me. And I'm sending you to the Father. And I love you as the Father loved me. So abide in love. When the last time you seen a husband who loved his wife as the Father loved him? Or a man dating a woman, or a woman dating a man loving the opposite sex as the Father loved them? When the last time you seen something like that? You wouldn't even know it if you recognized it. I mean, if you saw it. Religion has been twisted. I'm looking at all these kids at these universities with signs and flags and walking up into each other's face and fighting one another. And I really thought or realized or saw that, you know what, they don't have Father's love. They're being used by the world. And they all think they're right because of the thrill they feel from attacking one another. Thrills are not love. And Malachi 4:6 said, and he will turn the hearts of the fathers to their children and the hearts of the children to their father. Raise them in the right way. That ain't happening no more. When last time you seen a child that was raised in the right way? Proverbs 22:6 says, start children off on the way they should go. Start children off on the way they should go. And even when they are old, they will not turn from it. If you start your children off loving the Father, being that perfect example for them, when they get old, they won't be going to university fighting one another. I don't care what the government is doing and saying to them, the media doing to use them and to make them believe stuff. They wouldn't fall for it because they were started off in the right way with perfect love, the love of the Father. And when they get old, they have common sense. And common sense said, both sides are wrong. Both sides are using you. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. If you really pay attention, every time you take sides or the group come and join you to take your side, they are against you. They are setting you up to be used or to use you as you're using them. It ain't about love. And most times they don't even know the whole story. They're just taking side for the thrill of it, and then they turn on one another. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instructions of the Lord. And that is to love one another. That's from Ephesians 6:4. For the Bible thumpers. And last but not least, don't hate your mothers. Every human being hates his or her mother. But that thrill make them think that it's love, and they'll lie and say they love her, but they can't stand her. Every human being hate their mothers. And it's the mother's fault that their children hate them because they have imposed their hatred on the children, and they call it love. And they know the kids hate them, but they don't care. Long as they got a thrill of the world thinking that the children love them, and they are a good mother. Don't hate your mother. Go and forgive your mothers. And you don't try to explain anything to them. You don't need the mother to admit that she's like that because she ain't going to do it. She doesn't want you to go free. Is you crazy? If the child should go free, the mother would have the thrill of emptiness, like she lost something, and she will follow you to West Hell and kill you. She'll cry. I don't know what you mean. What do you mean? I need to forgive you. In her mind, she's thinking, you little sucker, you ain't getting away from here. Stay home, baby. You're 21. You're 18. Stay home and save some money. In her mind, she's thinking, stay home so I can continue to get life from you. And then you'll die, but mama will still be alive. Don't hate your mothers. Proverbs 23:22. Listen to your fathers who give you life. Listen to your father who give you life. Listen to your father who give you life. Did it say life is coming from the mother? But the mama swears she gives life. Listen to the father who give you life. And do not despise your mother when she is old. Do not despise your mama when she's old. Forgive mama. Forgiving mama is love. That don't mean you got to hang out with her. You don't have to take care of her. You don't have to do any of those things. Just don't hate her so you can return to the Father. The Father give you life, not the mother. The mother take life. I don't care what race, what religion, what color. And I want to quickly give you, we start off with some good news today. Positive video. The people love positive. Did you know if you want positive, that means you hate, that you want negative? If you want negative, you want positive. But if you didn't want either one, you'll be free. Did you know that, Hake?
Say that again?
If you want something positive, that means that you love negative.
Oh.
And if you have something negative, that means you love something positive. You're up and down. You're two people.
You said this a long time, like the ego loves the highs and the lows.
Absolutely. A thrill off of it.
An up and down life. For years you've been saying it. I've never really got it.
Because Christ came, sent by God, that we may be one. Christ was one. He was whole.
Yeah.
He was neither positive or negative.
Even.
Right.
Keel. It's more manly that way. And ladylike, too.
That was an interesting show you had yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very interesting. I was thinking about it last night because of the comments I kept on getting. Because there were comments. I like to read the comment section.
I love the way your guest handled it. He was cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah.
Let me give you something good. Positive for those negative/positive people. You never give anything positive. What? I'm giving you positive all the time, showing you the hell that you're in so you can overcome the hell. Here is a love story of a father. Watch this from X.
Wait. Go. Easy, dude. Look forward. Keep it even. Keep it even. Right there, even. There you go, boy. Look at you. Keep the gas. Keep the gas. Keep the gas. Keep the gas. There we go. You're going to go clutch, off the gas, and push the clutch. Off the gas, push the clutch. Now you're going to go up to third. Up, over, third. Now gas. Even transition. Ready? There you go. Go, go, go. Yay! You got it, boy. Keep going. That's what I'm talking about right there. Keep going.
I love you, Dad.
Love you, buddy. Keep going. Keep going. So you got a car to your left.
I love you, Dad.
All right, they're going straight. Keep going. Keep giving it gas. Keep giving it gas. All right, now you just keep driving in a circle. You're good, dude.
Wow.
Nice.
That is so nice. It reminds, honestly, I'm not making this up. I've said this before, too. When I first learned to drive, it was on a truck like that and tractor. because it was time for me to work the fields and stuff, so I needed to be hauling stuff. And my grandfather taught me to drive in the same way. Isn't that amazing? So I can feel what that young kid is feeling.
It took me, my brother, my friend, and then the used car salesman to teach me how to drive. And I was in my early 20s, mid 20s, and early 30s. No. Yeah, early 30s.
Wow,
or almost
man.
30. 29 now.
You need to kind of feel life. Joel said, about to boohoo.
Nice. Oh, yeah, he knows how to drive stick.
And you're never going to see a kid like that out there protesting.
True.
He's growing up close to his father. He's learning the right way. He's been trained in the right way to go. That reminds me of the good old days. I'm telling you, white folks, not white folks, but black folks that don't know, in the good old days, that's how black people got along with one another. They loved their fathers. They weren't blaming white people. That was so nice. I got to have that again. This is the love of a father, not a mama. A mama don't have love. This is what every kid, every adult, all races, all sizes, no matter the finance, no matter where you live, this is what you're hungry for. That void, that emptiness you have is for this kind of love. Watch this.
Wait. Go. Easy, dude. Look forward. Keep it even. Keep it even. Right there, even. There you go, boy. Look at you. Keep the gas. Keep the gas. Keep the gas. Keep the gas. There we go. You're going to go clutch, off the gas, and push the clutch. Off the gas, push the clutch. Now you're going to go up to third. Up, over, third. Now gas. Even transition. Ready? There you go. Go, go, go. Yay! You got it, boy. Keep going. That's what I'm talking about right there. Keep going.
I love you, Dad.
Love you, buddy. Keep going. Keep going. So you got a car to your left. All right, they're going straight. Keep going. Keep giving it gas. Keep giving it gas. All right, now you just keep driving in a circle. You're good, dude.
Wow. It reminded me again when I would teach my son to drive. He lived with me at one point. He was 7 years old. I would teach him to drive. And so when he finally got the car going, he looking all around to see who was looking at him. I was like, boy, you better be looking at the road. What are you looking at? He was so happy. And he wanted people to see him driving. I was like, what the? That's amazing. I'm telling you, men, women, boys, and girls, what's missing is not a protest. It's not blacks hated whites, whites hated black, Jews hated Palestine hated Jew, Muslim hated Muslim, and all that mess. It's the love of a father. So I need to find out what's going on here. I think we're coming to a break. Yes. What should I do at this point?
You should let me do the Hake news, I guess.
Yes, go to a break.
Because it's time.
The computer on our end is frozen or something, even though it's hot in here.
Maybe because it's hot in here.
I gotta take a break. 888-7753-773. Bible Thumper. When I come back, 2 more hours to go, your phone calls and super chat. The hate news. Not the fake news, but the hate news. So they're not going to hear the in and out music, right?
No.
Okay, you won't hear it, but it's happening. I'll be back in a moment.
This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, everybody. JLP will be right back for hour two to your calls. The lines are full, everybody. We will get to you. Okay. We appreciate you. It's Hake news, not fake news. Israel, Hamas, war drama, blah, blah, blah. And based George Santos, I use the term very loosely in his case, of course, survives an expulsion vote. Commie Nonsense Network, CNN, and mainly the far-left female-run outlet, The Skim, report some civilians have been able to leave Gaza. Yesterday, in a critical first step, Egypt opened its Rafah crossing with Gaza, allowing civilians to leave the territory for the first time since the deadly October 7th so-called terror attacks on Israel. For weeks, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians from northern Gaza have been stuck in southern Gaza, and not just Palestinians, but foreigners who happened to be in Palestine for some reason or other, as they search for refuge from Israeli airstrikes. Some have hoped to leave the Gaza Strip, with the U.S. saying about 400 U.S. citizens, so-called citizens, and their families have been stranded. Excuse me. Now, the U.S. and Qatar have negotiated a deal with Israel and Hamas and Egypt to open up the Egypt-Gaza crossing to hundreds of foreign nationals and injured Palestinian civilians, with the first group leaving yesterday. The U.S. blames Hamas, which controls Gaza, for keeping the crossing closed. But meanwhile, Egypt controls the other side of the crossing, and they said that they wouldn't accept Palestinian refugees because they don't trust them. The government said this is out of concern. They would not be allowed to return home after the war. They don't want to be stuck with these so-called refugees indefinitely like America has to do. And they weren't allowed to return home after 1948 when Israel became Israel. But Egypt has also cited economic and security concerns, worried that militants could leave with the Palestinian civilians, like Hamas members or whatever, and that the country wouldn't have the resources to support these so-called refugees. Meanwhile, Israeli airstrikes hit the Rafah crossing on the start of the conflict, damaging the road and forcing its closure for a bit, too. So many people to blame, I guess. Still, that leaves over 2 million people stuck in Gaza, despite the hundreds that were able to leave, including so-called U.S. citizens, with this Israel-Hamas war in its fourth week. Yesterday, Israel carried out a second airstrike in 2 days on the densely populated, not Jambalaya, but Jabalia refugee camp in Gaza, claiming they killed yet another Hamas leader. The evil UN said that could amount to war crimes. So I don't know if maybe it's evil, blaming evil. Palestinian health officials said the back-to-back strikes in Gaza's largest refugee camp killed at least 195 Palestinians. Israel's weeks-long bombardment in Gaza has killed supposedly at least 8,700 people, according to figures released by the Hamas-controlled Palestinian Ministry of Health. Secretary of State, joke of a Secretary of State, Antony Blinken of so-called America, not a Christian, will be going back to Israel tomorrow and will meet with government leaders. He plans to make a stop in Jordan, which just recalled its ambassador to Israel in protest of the war. And it's probably in protest after that hospital explosion, I'm not sure, that they falsely blamed Israel for. Anyway, based George Santos. Not that based, he's a gay rhino Latino, but sort of pro-Trump, so that's nice. He survived an expulsion vote on the House floor led by his fellow New York Republicans. The lower chamber failed to get the two-thirds majority needed to expel George Santos, 31 Democrats joining most Republicans to keep him in his seat. Republicans hold a razor-thin majority in the House. They'd rather wait for a House ethics investigation and Santos' criminal trial to play out. He's allegedly a criminal. Democrats argued that expelling George Santos could set a dangerous precedent. After the vote, George Santos said, "Due process is still alive." That's right, man. It's the second time this year George Santos has dodged an expulsion. Now he's set to face 23 charges in federal court. It's hour two.
Somewhere in the and to stand up strong. Think the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for this week: are you a pitiful person? Are you a pitiful person? Are you? You ever ask? Is I'm a pitiful person? Have you ever asked yourself? Ask yourself, is I a pitiful person? Am I a pitiful person? Speaking of pitiful person, I was a good friend of mine was invited out by some family members to go and participate in an event. And this friend doesn't want to do it. He literally does not want to do it. So he kept asking me over and over, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? I'm like, do what you want to do. Not what your family or anyone else want you to do. Do what you want to do. And they were like, I can't. I'm afraid to. I don't want to hurt their feelings. I'm afraid to do what I want to do. I don't want to do it, but I'm afraid to tell them that. And I'm like, what? And in talking to them, I can literally see the fear on them, where they're afraid to say, I don't want to do it. And they participated in one event that they didn't want to be a part of, and they went to that, and they were miserable at that event. And they were like, oh, man, I ain't going to do this no more. And they're afraid to say no. I wonder, would that be classified as a pitiful person? I'm just wondering out loud. I don't want to. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. But are you a pitiful person? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about protesting, doing whatever dumb stuff is happening in the world today, and you don't have time to sit and watch the show, you can be listening live as it's happening. My show here at 641 on your iPhone or iPad, 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. You can podcast later. Don't forget to follow us on Rumble. You got to know how to rumble.com. And JLP Talk on Twitter or X, better known as X. Like, follow, ring the bell, subscribe, and all that. And to get your donate to have your comments read out loud, buymeacoffee.com. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Or rebuildingthemand.com or Bond JLP on Cash App, all right? It's Thursday. It's the second hour of the show today. And every Thursday is Bible Thumper Thursday.
Somebody worried about the corona. Somebody worried about what's next. But I'm coming by to tell you, if you can just hold on a little while longer, he's already won the battle. Around this time we will be dead.
And this war ain't over, y'all. We're talking about saving democracy. We're talking about health care for all of God's people. We're talking about housing for all
God,
of
people need health care.
I'm tired of this church.
I rest my case. That's right, little boy. It's just a mess anyway. Ain't nothing happening but feeling messy. The thrills. If you did not hear the first hour today, I highly recommend you listen to it, because some of you are going to hear it and you're going to look at yourself and you're going to start seeking the kingdom of God. You'll return to your Father. I'm looking at all these people rallying today in my country and around the world, and all I see are a bunch of females rallying, fighting one another. When you're out fighting one another, when you're out attacking one another, when you are a revengeful, gossiping person, when you're worried, when you have jealousy, envy, and strife, you're a female. You're acting like a woman. And it's not the female nature, it's the spirit of evil that's in the female, since Satan is the woman's God, right? And it's been passed on to the children. And you're out there fighting, not knowing you're acting like a female. I'm looking at these young people out there fighting one another, and the guys are worse than the women out there fighting one another. Say, hey, first of all, we shouldn't be out here. Secondly, let's not attack one another. I disagree with them, and they disagree with me. And if you got to protest, have a little quiet one. We ain't got to fight and beat up one another. What are we getting from that? Except a thrill. It's not their fault on either side that the government is fighting one another. But they have no love of a father. I want to give you just two quick examples of not having a father in their lives. Not having fathers. You can always tell when a man or a woman, boy or girl, is not close to their father, don't have a father's love, is that they're going to be doing some crazy things, emotional, out of control things. Out of control means you don't have a father. Emotions mean you're not close to your father. Whether it's fear or love, fake love, emotional love, or doubt or envy, whatever it may be, it's the loss of a father. And the mother's love never going to work, because the mother's love is evil. And they push hard to make you think that the mother's love is good. I want to show you the scariest video from Halloween this year, and you're going to see the adult acting like children because their father did not return to their father. Watch this from X.
Yo, es que yo jalé primero el letrero, apúrate, niño. Apúrate. Ya no hay
Isn't that amazing? And they sound like they're foreigners. That's what they do in their country. They steal. They went up to this house. The people put nice bucket of candy and stuff out for the kids. And they came, it looked like the mama, at least a grown woman, and a big kid there too. They're stealing it all. They bring their asshole ideas to our country. They sound like foreigners. What the? But they definitely didn't have fathers. It doesn't matter if you're a foreigner or not. If you don't have a father, you're not close to your father. You don't love your father, you're not close to him. Meaning you don't love your father. This is what you do. The camera on the porch is showing it all. They don't care. They're speaking that foreign language. That is another example of not having a father's love or loving your father. And one last but not least, here's a child acting like he has the love of the father. Watch the difference from X.
There ain't no more candy. No more candy. Oh no. Aww, that was really nice, Jackson.
Shut up, Mama.
That's all right. Okay. For the next kid. There we go. Danielle's like, nah, I want that one.
Wow. See how the little boy did the right thing? And the mama got to spoil. Oh, be quiet. Just let the boy put the candy back, and you ain't got to say all that. Trying to kill the love of the father. He didn't need you to stroke him. What a sad things happen in my world. In Malachi 4:6 says, he will turn the hearts of the children, the hearts of the fathers to their children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers. In John 20:21, Jesus said, peace be with you. That ain't no peace. Stealing candy from a box ain't peace. Amazing, huh? Jesus said, peace be with you. As the Father has sent me, I'm sending you. As the Father has loved me, so I loved you. I have loved you. Abide in my love. That ain't abiding in God's love. And start children off, Proverbs 2:22-6. Start children off on the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it. They start those children off in the right way, all right, to steal. Even with the lights on and the cameras, steal. What do you think they're going to do as they get older? Mama, look like mama, an adult female over there with them doing it too. They already think it's just fine to go to somebody's house and steal. Why do you think the black kids are doing what they do? They learn at an early age you can be violent. They got it from the parents. And they call it racist. And it's not. Anyway, let me go to Josh, a first-time call out of New York. Josh, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
How's it going, Jesse?
All is well, Josh.
I just want to talk about a realization I had.
Okay.
After waking up, I realized while I was waking up, there was a war going on inside me. And I had to, trust the pain, trust the death, let it pass. I think that's happening in the world outside right now. And, we see the destruction and the death and the mayhem. But I think maybe the ego of the world is dying.
Well, the ego in your world inside of you is dying, but the ego outside of you in the world is very much alive, and it's getting worse. Yeah. That's why you see so much destruction. But in your world, it's dying, and you're going to be at perfect peace in spite of what's happening outside of you in the world. That's for sure.
Yeah. And, waking up is beautiful. Like, it's like I was dead before, and now I'm alive, and I don't even know how to describe it. It's amazing, but
yep.
I feel like I just kind of noticed a similarity. Like it feels like things are escalating, but I think on the other side of that, you know, maybe there's a brighter future for the world. There's perfect peace for the world on the other side of all this hell and destruction and mayhem. Because I noticed when I was waking up, the devil inside me, you know, got stronger and louder, and the pain got more and more like great. But I had to just sit through it and let it pass. And then, you know, on the other side of that was peace. It ended at some point. So maybe all this pain and destruction in the world is going to end at some point, and then it'll be, you know, a better place in the world. I don't know.
Well, one thing you're right about, if enough people were to wake up as you're doing now, there can be peace on earth. But unfortunately, enough people are not going to do it, because most people love their hell. They love their thrill. That's why they roam the earth, trying to figure out who they can hurt so they can get a thrill. How old are you, Josh?
23.
That's amazing, buddy. Are you doing the silent prayer?
Every morning, every night.
And did you go and forgive your parents?
I did. I forgave my mom a couple times, but
how did she deal with it?
She didn't really understand it at first. She kind of denied it, but you know, I actually went back and explained to her a little bit more. I talked to her all about what you talk about, and I showed her one of your videos, and she actually understands it. And you know, it doesn't matter to me, but I recommended that she forgive her mother, because she lives with her mom. We live in her house. We live in my grandparents' house.
Wow.
Yeah. And and since I've woken up, I know I got to get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But sorry?
Did she forgive her mother?
She hasn't yet. But I mean, it's up to her if she wants to. I told her what she should do. I explained, you know, how great it is, how freeing it is, and I told her that, you know, while she's still alive, she could do it. But you know, it is like facing the devil, so it is scary.
It is facing the devil. What the?
Yeah.
In the same way that most people are afraid to face the hell in their mothers and grandmothers, they're afraid to face the hell in themselves too, because the hell feel like them. They think that they are the hell, and they're afraid to face it. They don't know, like you now understand, that if they face it, they can overcome the hell outside of themselves, inside of others, and they can overcome the hell inside themselves as well.
Mm-hmm. And you know, it's waking up is definitely painful. I was gonna call in a couple of times while I was going through it to be like, Jesse, I'm dying. Like, I need help. I don't know what's going on. But I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I don't think I would have embarrassed myself, but you know, I just needed to be quiet and sit with it.
Yes, absolutely. And how about your father? How did you forgive him?
Yeah, I did. He doesn't live around here, but I called him on the phone. You know, he thanked me for forgiving him. He, you know, like let out a sigh of relief on the phone.
Wow.
And we had a good conversation afterwards. And yeah, he's in Dallas, so I'm planning on seeing him soon, taking a trip there.
Amazing. When the last time you seen him?
Say like 3 months ago.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but waking up is amazing. Like, you just, anybody, you know, going through and shying from the pain, if you just let it happen, sit with it, there's, you know, light on the other side. It ends. It doesn't last forever. But yeah.
Oh, and Josh, stay with it, stay with it, stay with it.
Yeah, I will.
Just stay with the prayer now and watch those thoughts and and whatever thrills or feeling you get from now on, you already know. Just watch it, let it pass, knowing that it's not you. And it will become clearer. You get more understanding and wisdom. And it'll become clearer. And it's just going to blow your mind, man. You haven't seen anything yet. It gets better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I can't wait. But I'm also enjoying right now. But, you know, I'm also excited for the future. So
well, stay with it, buddy. Amazing call. Call me again.
I will. All right.
Stay with it, man. You avoid a lot of heartaches, a lot of darkness, a lot of stupid mistakes, a lot of everything. You're overcoming the world.
Yep.
Amazing. Thank you, Josh. Amazing.
All right. Thank you.
All right. We can pass the bucket now and go home. A soul has been saved. A return to the Father, men and women. Ladies, you're all insecure and worried and scared and lonely and angry because you're longing for your Father as well. You're longing for your fathers, ladies, and all you're going to get from these guys who are longing from their father is sex. That's all they want. They don't know how to bring you back to your father because they haven't returned to theirs. Jaime, out of California. Jaime, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. So the reason why I'm calling you because I want to ask you a question, but first I want to answer the biblical question.
Are you a pitiful person?
If I may answer this, Jesse, it's a yes and a no. And the reason why I say no, because, you know, when I do the sign prayer, I truly believe I'm not that person as I was before. The person that I have, you know, so emotional, have a lot of anger. I would dare to say thrill. And yeah, because the thing is, I guess last week and a couple of days, for some reason, I want to feel emotional about something, but I was like, nah, what's the point of having all this emotion for?
That's right.
And also that, I don't get too emotional or angry about, I would dare to say, the things of this world because in the past, I always like beat myself up about how people judge me or how they see me or how am I right now with my life? Or how am I gonna make, you know, all this money and, you know, the career and all that stuff? But the way you be talking about that, it's not gonna make you happy. Because let me tell you something too, Jesse. When I was 26, when I stopped becoming a rapper, because I noticed that God doesn't like, you know, rap music. When I stopped, you know, doing that, like I was sad because I was like, okay, what am I gonna do now since I'm not gonna become a rapper? How am I gonna make money and how am I gonna live well and all that stuff? And you know, all that stuff was, I would dare to say, was ego. So, in conclusion on that, that's the reason why I say no. But however, yes, because regardless of me, in the progress of doing a sign prayer, I believe my ego sometimes that he wants me to feel, he wants me to believe the thoughts that I've been having in my sign prayer, and it is a battle. It is a battle, and I don't know, like when I feel the ego wanted me to believe something that is not my thought, I feel like I wanna go back and do my silent prayer again.
Amazing. Well, I appreciate you responding to the biblical question, Jaime, and I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday.
Okay.
Amazing.
And then then those 3 quick questions. Why is confusion is a sin, and how to overcome confusion?
Well, confusion is a sin because you've turned away from the Father and believe the darkness. You believe a lie. Because in the light, everything is quite clear. It's clear. There's no confusion about it. There's no decision to make. There's no worry or anything. So when you get lost in a thought, it's the greatest sin because you have forgotten to remember to stay present instead of lost in your thought.
I see. And
I would encourage you when that happened to you, and it will for a while until you really, really start to remember that you're not your thoughts. All thoughts are lie. And eventually you're going to find yourself less and less into thoughts. And you're going to start living a life of no thinking, no thoughts. And so when that happens, don't call yourself a sinner or a saint. Just realize I'm in my head. I forgot to be present. And just come back to present, come back to where your body is, instead of being lost in your head thinking about the past or the future.
So what type of thoughts, how can I say this, please? So what type of thoughts that it's going to give me about confusion, for example?
That's a good question. I don't know if a thought about you don't have enough money. You need to go to college to make money. That's a confusing, lying thought. When that kind of thought comes, let it pass. Or a thought about if you ever think that somebody is thinking or saying bad things about you, you get caught up with that. Let that pass, because that's another confusion thought. You've gone into the imagination.
Okay, I see. And then the other question is, the reason why a lot of guys are having a desire to have a girlfriend or a wife is because they're looking for the love of their mother, huh?
Yeah, they're looking for mama's love, not knowing that they need to return to the father's love. And so when they do get a girlfriend or a wife they make the woman their mama. And then she's irritated because she's looking for a father's love. And instead of getting a father's love from her boyfriend or husband, she's getting a mama's love. So it's just hell all the time.
I see. And I guess how do you talk to yourself about that? Because when I was young, when I was young and to this day, I always had the desire to have a girlfriend for some reason. And I'm sorry.
And what?
And I want to ask this. How do I talk to myself about not having about this stuff? Like how can I say? Like, for example, like now don't get a girlfriend yet. Just wait until God, because all that stuff is coming in is on your mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Here's what you do. You do the silent prayer morning and night and watch those thoughts and let all thoughts pass. And then when you're doing that, you're seeking the kingdom of God. And when you're seeking, he will take you out of the old way of thinking, out of the old nature, and bring you into the new nature, his life, which is his life, and you'll be fine. It'll change by itself. You can't make it change. It's enough for you to see that you want to overcome thinking that way and being that way. And if you do the silent prayer and watch, but don't be angry about what you see in yourself, it'll change on itself, on its own, and you'll be fine. God will change it. He will renew your mind.
Okay, I can hear the music. Is it okay if I could be on hold?
All right, one more question, all right?
Okay.
All right, hold on. 888-7753-773. When I come back, your phone calls are Super Chats. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, They're miserable. They have rough lives. They're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they will become it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Welcome back, 888-775-3773, 888-77-JESSE. One quick thing I want to share with you, brand new episode of The Fallen State tomorrow, Friday, if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. Amazing episode. I had an interesting talk with Lauren Neal, N-E-A-L, Neal. She is an advocate for gender equality, gender equity, and career progression with STEM industries. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
Let's say guys were talking in the office and that slut was amazing. Would you get mad?
I've never encountered that in the office.
That's a normal talk when women not around.
The language that you've just used didn't make me feel very comfortable.
That's another reason that women should not be allowed to work with men except in the front office or something.
I mean, of course, I've got a different perspective.
But should the woman obey her husband?
Obey? Does that mean I'm your slave?
Yes. Is it ever okay to call a woman fat?
No, it's not.
Amazing. The FallenState.tv. You can support the Fallen State there at just FallenState.tv, also on locals.com. So click the link in the description to support the work. You're going to love this episode, I think. It was very interesting. Lady was nice. Lauren was nice, very nice. So I think you're going to enjoy it, really. It was amazing. And some of you know that we are building a 24-hour network here of all men 24-hour talk. Can you imagine that? Isn't that amazing? One person at a time, one brick at a time. And through the week, I've been giving you different highlights of some of the hosts on the network already. The JLP radio network. They're on YouTube and Instagram. And the channel is officially active. And I want to show you one of the other hosts on the network. The Anchor Baby Show will premiere today at 2 p.m., not 12, 2 p.m. Watch this.
Chrisean Rock is pregnant. In fact, she had a kid. She had a son by Blueface. Bust down, Tatiana. Alpha? Chrisean Rock says she doesn't want her son to pick up her feminine ways. So she's going to dress like a tomboy and act masculine.
I feel like certain moms get in the way of being too much of a good mom, that their sons start developing hand movements and stuff.
She's talking about these hand movements. In Spanish, we call it mani quebrado, meaning your hand's broken, but we don't really mean your hand's broken, okay? We mean that you got little hand movements, okay?
The American Anchor Baby. Today, premiere at 12 p.m. Pacific time on the YouTube channel there. Check it out, folks. And thank you for your support and helping us to make that happen. And guys, I got tons of email from guys around the world that want to be a part of the network. So some of you are going to be hearing from us, all right? And some of you have been very smart about it because you sent me little clips of what you can do. A little example of it, and that's what makes it even easier to decide who to add to the network. So you will be hearing, and I appreciate it. Let me go quickly back to Jaime out of California. Jaime, how old are you now, Jaime?
I'm 27, but I'm going to turn 28 in January.
And how old are you today?
27.
Oh, okay. And how you know you're going to turn 28 in January?
Oh, it's that's my birth month.
And where is January?
In the future.
And where is the future?
Not now.
And why are you thinking about January rather than just living now?
It's because we're getting close. That's all I can say.
Amazing. You have one more question for me. Go ahead.
So the last question, that's a curious question. Is the holiday, the Días de los Muertos, meaning the Day of the Dead, is something that we should not celebrate because that stuff that people do on the Day of the Dead is considered a sort of witchcraft, huh?
The Day of the Dead?
Yes.
I wouldn't be celebrating the Day of the Dead. Let the dead celebrate the dead, but not you. I wouldn't participate in that.
Okay, just double checking on that.
Is that a Mexican holiday?
Yeah, it's a Hispanic holiday.
Oh no, I would recommend you not do it, but it's up to you.
Okay, no, I'm just double checking.
Yeah.
And also, I'm sorry, I have to tell you this too. I really admire people who are younger than me about them overcoming the darkness and coming to the light. I really like that. I really like seeing young people coming out of darkness and going to the light because all that stuff that young people do, it really inspires me to keep moving forward with the silent prayer.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's a mess. And I talked to a lot of young people who are waking up now. They didn't know they should forgive their mother. They thought because the mother had deceived them, and this is boys and girls, men and women, they thought that it was the father, but really the mother that they resent, irritates them and make them feel guilty and responsible for them when they're not. Amazing how me stay with it, man. It becomes clearer and clearer, all right?
Okay. Thank you, Jesse.
All right, buddy. Amazing. Super chat.
Super chat.
There's one line. Super. One line open, 888-77-53773.
Soul Conscious bought you 5 coffees. Jesse, Hake's show had an atheist guest early on this week. He said he prayed to God for his wife not to divorce him, but she divorced him anyway. And that was one of the reasons why he stopped believing in God. I think his situation is proof of God's existence because the devil left him. What do you think?
That was your guess from yesterday?
No, that was a few days ago.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't hear that one.
He prayed to God to save his marriage, and then he turned atheist.
That'll do it.
Because, well, I don't know. It didn't save.
I can't really respond because I didn't hear the thing. So thank you, though.
JLP 2024 bought 5 coffees. Congrats on 410,000 subscribers on YouTube, even with shadow banning on YouTube.
Amazing. Thank you. I have an amazing staff. That's one thing I wanted to tell you. I have an amazing staff. The show that you hear me bring to you every day is put together by my producer, Sean. He's white, real white. But he's amazing how he lay these passions out. And it just makes it so easy for me to come in and just present to you what's going on in the world. Amazing. Thank you.
Jaime said, hey, with 2 coffees. Jesse, maybe these 2 songs would answer this week's biblical question, and evidence is that you're right about all thoughts are lies. The biblical question being, are you a pitiful person? The Ghetto Boys, my mind is playing tricks on me. And Joe Budden, all in my head, featuring Royce Da 5'9" and Kobe. P.S. When would you do an interview with Eminem? Blah 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 blah. The Great White Hope, Barack Obama, Tekashi 6ix9ine on the Fallen State. What is the name of that country song that you mostly played on Country Tuesday? Because I can't find it on YouTube. I like applesauce, by the way. Amazing.
Amazing. I don't know when I'm going to interview those people, but I hope it's in the cards. What was the name of the song? Her song? I like applesauce. Oh, that's not the name of the song.
Right. It was, I don't know which one. There's a country song that you mostly played on Country Tuesday. You can't find it on YouTube.
I'm not sure which one he's referring to, but
I mean, if you can think of the name
or
maybe,
the lyrics.
I mean, you think right, not the name, but the lyrics. Maybe we can tell you. What were you about to say, yeah?
Oh, maybe he's talking about the one that plays during the video, during Jesse riding into the town. We can get the name of that one.
So if give us a little bit more, maybe a little music words or something to the song, and we can tell you which one it is.
Or a timestamp on a particular Tuesday when it plays.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jaime.
JC from Little Rock. I was shocked to hear JLP consider himself a nobody at one point. He makes an impact on so many people. He says, is being divorced beta? I'm not beta. I lived on my own since I was 17 when I entered college. What do you all love about yourselves, and what do you wish to change? Not a gotcha. Not a gotcha. Also, yesterday, when you heard that man, Krishan the Don, say the N-word, Jesse, did you not feel some sense of anger? Thank you for your time.
No. When I heard him use it, I felt nothing about it. In the same way I feel nothing about it when the blacks use it, I feel nothing about it when I hear other races people use it. Zero. And anyone that is affected by words is a beta. Satan is your God. That's why you're affected by words. When you truly return to the Father, you will overcome the effects of the world, which include words. And so, no, I felt nothing. And what's the other?
Is being divorced beta, and what do you love about yourselves, and what do you wish to change?
No, being divorced is not beta. What the?
Being beta can lead to divorce, but...
Right, that's what leads to divorce, beta. And then what I love about myself, nothing. And what I wish to change, nothing.
Nice. I'm stealing that answer. Because we got to keep it moving. Yeah. Gregatron bought a coffee. Good morning and happy Bible Thumper Thursday, Jesse. That's right, I said good morning. Jesse, did you watch the Hake report yesterday? It was off the rails.
Yeah, it was.
The guests and callers were crazy. If y'all haven't subscribed to the Hake report yet, what are you doing? Triple question mark.
Yeah, you got to subscribe to the Hake report. Check out all the show, but especially yesterday at thehakereport.com. But yeah, I did. It was mind-blowing.
Bass Granny with a diamond on DLive.tv/Jesse Lee Peterson. Jesse and crew, y'all are amazing.
Thank you. Appreciate your support. Thank you.
Aredja donated a diamond. Great shows, Jesse and crew have a diamond. Thank you.
Thank you.
Someone bought a coffee. On the next episode of Maury, the results are in. Jesus is not the Father. Mind blown emoji.
That's right. I like that. Jesus, you are not God the Father. Amazing.
Someone bought a coffee. Amazing. Can you explain something you said yesterday? Why do you say Jesus already came? Double question mark.
Because he's inside of us already. Everything is done. It is finished. The kingdom of heaven is now inside, it's above, but it's inside of us as well. And Jesus is there as well. He's already returned. And because the Christians are waiting for him to return, they're living hell on earth. They're not happy. They have no peace because they're waiting for something that has already happened. And I think the Jews do the same thing. They're waiting for a Messiah, and the Messiah has already come.
Yep.
No wonder the Jews are so scared. Stop being scared and return to the Father. Amazing. But he is already coming. He's on the inside of you. Everything is done. The work is completed. You are free. You're neither sinner nor saint. You never sin except for the heart. We have anger in the heart. But you're free. And they don't know it. Everything's inside. Thank you.
Beta Word Enjoyer bought a coffee. I remember my father teaching me how to drive when I was about that little boy's age.
Yeah.
Best time with Dad.
Sure, I'm telling you.
When we got home, Mama was nagging, talking about whether we are okay. Mama hates it when fathers have fun with their kids.
That is so true. And I was thinking of that while the boy was driving. If that was a mother, even in the car with him, or truck with him, be careful, baby. Why are you letting him drive? He's too young. Oh, don't watch this, watch that. Freaking out. And the boy would have a bad experience. He'd be traumatized. He would never forget it. But because the mother wasn't around, he had a good trauma, a love of the father. Amazing. Thank you.
Amazing Asia bought a coffee. Wow! Triple exclamation mark. Maybe 4. I lose count after 3. The clip of the young boy learning to drive with his dad was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Heart emojis in the eyes. At the beginning of the video, he looked unsure, timid, and full of fear. But by the end of the video, with his father's guidance and protection, he seemed confident, at peace, and ready to take on challenges. He seemed at peace when he said, "I love you, Dad." It made me realize something about life. Growing up without being close to our dads will leave us insecure and full of fear, but growing up close to our dads will leave us feeling more confident, more at peace. That clip was deep.
It was, and you're right about that. All who grow up close to their father will have perfect peace. All who are not will have fear and anger when they grow up close to their mothers. It's just reality. That's just the way it is. And if you notice, the father was calm in dealing with the son. He wasn't overreacting or anything. And that's what kids need. Not the overreaction of a mother, but the non-reaction of a father. Oh, amazing. Thank you.
Nobody says if your
mother... By
mother...
the way, Sean put that together. He was telling me about how his father treated him as a kid. How young, I forgot, he was 7. How old were you, Sean, when you learned to drive? 6 or 7 years old. He got his first knife when he was 4 years old. What the?
Amazing.
Amazing. Where are the fathers? Fathers, return to the father so you can guide your family. It ain't going to get better otherwise. Thank you.
Nobody bought a coffee. If your mother was sexually assaulted and you were born as a result of rape, how do you forgive your father?
Your father for raping your mother?
Yeah, and then you were born from that.
Ain't no such thing as a father raping a mother.
Oh, so you're one of those Atkins guys. Who is that guy? Who said in a case of legitimate rape, the children aren't born from that?
Right.
Oh.
But whatever, don't resent your mother for telling you that. And don't resent your father. Just drop the anger, all right? Drop the anger and don't let it play over your head. Don't be discussing it with pitiful people, and you'll be fine. You drop the anger, you will be fine because you're not your body. You are a spirit. Your spirit will be fine, and you'll be fine. Don't have any anger. And if your mother's mad, let her be mad by herself, and don't join with her, because an angry mother will try to bring everybody into her darkness to be angry, and it didn't happen to you. It was with the mother and the father. Had nothing to do with you, so don't be angry. Amazing.
Billy bought a coffee. The Matrix exists. Thanks for freeing me. God is with me now.
Amazing. Stay with it. Thank you.
Stefano from Germany, but half Greek, bought 22 coffees. Hey, Jesse, I'm 38 now, watching you since September, doing the silent prayer daily. Already forgave my mother, father, brother, sister, ex-wife, friend in person. I apologize for resenting them. Now a lot of changes are taking place. Anger seems to fade away. Amazing. Yeah. Now I realize that I want to be close to my dad and not need more friends, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I also realize that he himself is pretty much in his mother's energy, cannot help himself. He was the mother with being emotional. He was the person who wanted me to stay home and save money. So now only God remains, which I can turn to. After I forgave him for not protecting me from my mother, he said something like, yeah, that's how it is. He turned away afterwards, and we talked about stuff like weather and never again talked about forgiveness. I really do see through that bad relationship we had. So many bad things sneaked in, and I wanted to stop because the fact made my whole life a living hell. I often wish there would be a strong bond with my father in the materialistic world spiritually, but somehow I think this won't happen. I let go and see what happens. Is it nonetheless useful to ask him life questions, quote unquote, even though he is in another mother energy? And how to deal with a former friend who, after I forgave him, wants to come back into my life after years, but I feel it's wrong because he's also so much in his mother's energy, always complaining and talking like 15 minutes without pause, blah, blah, blah. Hope to see you and your crew in person one time. Greetings from S-Hole, Germany.
Amazing. Heard around the world by everybody and the mom. It's the same problem everywhere. So just don't resent your father and you'll be fine. And if you need to ask him something about life, or not life, but practical questions, that's fine too. But just don't be angry. And as far as your friend, if you don't know what to do nothing. Eventually you'll see what to do. All right? But stay with the prayer, and the light will guide you. You wouldn't even have to make the decision. It would be made for you in the light. Just as Satan made decisions in the darkness. Amazing. Stay with it. Stay with it. Did I answer everything?
I think so.
Nice. Thank you all. I got to take some calls, and we'll finish up on these.
All right.
I want to squeeze in some calls. Amazing. It's the same spirit everywhere. It had nothing to do with color, male or female. Is it Tessaline, a first-time caller out of Florida? Let's see here. Tessaline, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Okay. Hey, Jeffrey. I just wanted to thank you because, like, when I got out of prison, I started watching your show.
Speak up a little bit.
I had like I said when I got out of prison, I started watching your show, and I had a lot of anger, but I didn't know where it came from.
Yeah.
Until I realized it came from my mom, not from my dad. Because my dad, like, he was around, but he wasn't around. If you get it, like,
yeah,
he wasn't really like the dad. Like, my uncle was like more of a dad to me than like my dad. So I realized I was like my mom. Like, the reason I went to prison because I fought the police, and then other things, but that too. And so, like, I'm 21 now, fresh out, like a couple months fresh out, and I just want to say, like, thank you. But I just want to know, like, how do I forgive my mom? Because, like, every time, like, I forgave my dad, but every time, like, I try to forgive my mom, like, I just, like, tense up and I kind of get mad. Like, it'll be for, like, still, we'll have a regular conversation, but I still, like, get a little mad, though.
Yeah. Can you hold for me? Let me take a break, and I'll come back to you right after the break.
Okay.
All right, hold on, buddy. 888-7753-773. One more hour to go. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news, but the hate news. And I'll be back in a moment. Bible Thumper Thursday. What the? Back in a moment. Steve, thank you for calling and thanks for holding. How have you been helped by the show?
I'm going to tell you this. I believe you might go down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, black man that ever lived on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anybody before you that's been that great. You know, freeing the slaves is one thing, but you've been freeing people of their mind, which matters, it should be anyhow, to you more than anything else, because with the mind not being right, there ain't nothing else going to happen right anyway.
If you can doubt every thought because you're not your thoughts, if you can doubt every thought, knowing that you're not your thoughts, you don't create them, they're not from God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free, just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing.
Men's Forum, first Thursday of the month. That's tonight, 7 p.m. at Bond in Los Angeles, rebuildingtheman.com/events. It's also Dia de los Muertos, Day of Worshiping the Dead. No, they're not worshiping. Or maybe they are. RAV4 is a catching on fire. No place for hate in America or fake Islamophobia, according to Biden, KJP. And Don Jr. took the stand in Letitia James's lame lawsuit in New York. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. There's one line open. You can call in. JLP will be right back to your calls, guys. Hang tight. First, Hake news, not fake news. Common Nonsense Network, CNN reports, Happy Dia de los Muertos to the Mexicans who do that Day of the Dead celebration to remember and honor, quote-unquote, loved ones who died. By the way, speaking of death, don't let your RAV4 catch fire. 1.8 million Toyota RAV4 vehicles being recalled due to a fire risk, according to CNN. The automaker announced on yesterday, Toyota said the replacement batteries in some 2013 to 2018 models aren't the correct dimensions and could shake loose and start a fire if the car makes a sharp turn. So watch your turns. Drive smoothly. Lento. Biden and KJP, are they going to deport themselves? Quote, there is no place for hate in America against anyone, period. That's White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre issuing a statement Wednesday after introducing Biden's revamped national strategy to combat Islamophobia. Give me a break. The government thinks they can solve everything. No, they can't. The initiative comes as Israel's war with Hamas has increased fears of Islamophobia in the United States. Some of the nation's largest Muslim American groups have denounced Biden's approach to the conflict because Biden's sort of pro-Israel or something. Based Don Jr. Yesterday, Wednesday, Donald J. Trump Jr. testified in a New York civil fraud lawsuit trial without a jury brought by a joke of a New York Attorney General's office. One of 6 court cases against our greatest president, Trump. In the New York case, Trump faces a $250 million fine and a ban from doing business in New York. If he's found, quote-unquote, guilty of insurance fraud, falsification of business records, issuing false financial statements, and conspiracy at the Trump Organization. They're accusing Don Jr. and his brother Eric, who were running their organization while Trump was president, of knowingly participating in a scheme to inflate their father's net worth to obtain financial benefits like better loan and insurance policy terms. Loans which they always paid back, I think, and insurance which they rarely ever had to claim anyway. On the stand, Don Jr. has worked for the Trump Organization since 2001. He said he never worked on his father's financial statements. The accountants did that, and he doesn't understand that stuff. Denied the prosecutor's claims that he and his brother Eric Trump helped their dad inflate his net worth. Don Jr.'s testimony continues today ahead of Eric's. Meanwhile, Ivanka Trump, the daughter who married the Jewish guy, she turned Jewish, is trying not to get called up on the stand. She's a liberal. She's nice. President Trump did not appear in court yesterday. He posted on Truth Social, calling on the judge to leave my children alone. Nice. A banking expert also testified yesterday, that Donald Trump and his company saved more than $168 million in loan interest by obtaining favorable terms on transactions where our greatest president personally guaranteed the loans. Nice. Heard he's paid all those loans back, right? The whole dumb lawsuit is moot. Had to be a black female, right? A Democrat. And a storm hit France. At least one person in France has been killed. 1.2 million people are there without electricity. As one of the strongest storms in decades hit the northwestern Europe and barreled towards southern England. Parts of northwest France saw winds over 75 miles an hour. That's not too shabby, with gusts at hurricane force levels of more than 124 miles an hour per the country's meteorological agency. Around 780,000 of those without power are in the northwestern region of Brittany, where the coast was put on a state of red alert, which is France's highest weather warning. So be careful. Anyway, again, the Men's Forum, rebuildingtheman.com/events. That's tonight. The Hake Report after JLP. And, of course, American Anchor Baby. I heard it's at 2 Pacific time today. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
got to stand up strong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show today. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for this week: are you a pitiful person? Are you a pitiful? You just so pitiful. Go set your pitiful down. Are you a pitiful person? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And you can also listen to the show no matter where you are and what you're doing, and you're not able to sit and watch it live. You can podcast, of course, but you could be listening, doing whatever it is you're doing by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500 on your iPhone or iPad, all right? And don't forget to follow us, JLP Talk on Twitter and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Like, follow, ring the bell, subscribe, and blah, blah, blah. Also, and I appreciate it, thank you all, to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Bond JLP on Cash App. Bond, BOND, JLP on Cash App, and rebuildingtheman.com. So it is Thursday. One line open right now at 888-7753-773. It's Thursday. And every Thursday, it's the last hour Thursday for the show. Every Thursday is Bible Thumper Thursday. Bible Thumper.
The sign outside the New Era Baptist Church in Birmingham reads, "A black vote for Trump is mental illness."
I am the daughter of two pastors.
You will emerge from that as an atheist.
President Joe Biden is only the second Catholic president.
The Pope is like, if you don't... They call him the Holy Father. Ain't nothing holy about the Pope.
God, why? Why George, God?
Holy mackerel.
God.
I can't believe you people follow a man. Have no other God before God. No mama, nobody. No grandmama, no husband, no wife. Only God. Seek the kingdom of God in the right way, and all will be added. I want to go quickly back to Tessalin. He's a first-time caller out of Florida, and he wanted to know how can he go and forgive his mother? He's tend to choke up or become a. Do you say you become afraid when it's time to do it, Tessa?
Not really afraid. Not really afraid. Like, even when we have like a regular conversation, like I just get mad because I be thinking about the past and like how she didn't let me do things when I was young. So I became like mischievous and disobedient. So now I'm like a felon now. I'm 21. And like, I started watching your show. At first I was skeptical about your show because, you know, people saying you're a coon, you're this and that. So I just kept watching, and I was like, you actually like you speak like you say more knowledge, and like you don't like to beg, and I don't like to beg, and you give more things, like you say forgive, and I started forgiving, so like my life is more easier now. I started like walking in the light, not the darkness, because I used to walk in the darkness. I hated both my parents. I resented both of them. Like my mom doesn't look like she's like the alpha female. My dad's like the beta, don't do nothing, and all he do wants to get taken care of. So I kind of resented him, and I liked my uncle more because he was like the alpha. And so like I just like when I talk to her like when we have a conversation. When I was young, like we'll have a conversation, she would get mad. So like this is like me being like her, like getting mad when we talk now as an adult.
Yeah,
it's like me as an adult. So like I'm like I don't know how to like forgive her because I forgave my dad because it's like more easier because. And then when my dad told me, he told me like when we first came to America, because I'm Haitian. So he was like, oh, your grandma used to like hit you. Your grandma used to not want to take care of you. When, like, this was before, like, he was around, before he came, moved to America. So he used to tell me that, and, like, he used to beat on my mom, like, my grandma, not my dad. My grandma used to beat on my mom and me when we was, like, living with her, and then we moved to Palm Beach County, where Donald Trump lives.
Nice. The Great White Hope. So here's what I recommend. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm listening, sir.
Okay, here's what I recommend.
It's kind of windy outside.
Oh, okay. That you face your mother. You're going to be have a little fear. It's going to seem like it's hard to do it. You're going to feel anger, but you are not to anger. So you're going to feel it, but you say it anyway. Hey, mother, I have been resenting you all my life because and I'm just throwing out words, but you recreated me in your image, and I have become just like you. And I'm sorry for resenting you. I realize now you can help yourself. And don't ask for forgiveness. You forgive her for what she's done to you, and God will forgive you and take her identity away from you and free you up. And whatever your mother says is on her. If she apologizes, fine. If she pretends she doesn't understand, that's fine. If she tries to blame your father or anyone else, that's fine. But just say, I'm sorry for resenting you, and you will be fine. And that anger you have and that fear will all disappear, and you'll be a free man.
So you think it's fear that I have? Like, I'm scared of my mom?
Yeah. You're afraid. You're not afraid of her in a physical way, but you don't know what her reaction is going to be, how she's going to deal with it. And as a result of not knowing how she's going to deal with it, you're not sure how you're going to handle it if she acts out, especially if you already feel this anger coming up while talking to her. And that's what's trying to hold you back. But that's not even you either. That's the spirit of evil in the mind and emotions. And that'll be taken away from you.
Okay. Because then I was watching your show. You was like, when you're 18, you should move out. Because, like, when I graduated high school, and I wanted to work at it's a job, like a construction job. Not really construction, like a bagger job, but it gets you real dirty of concrete.
Right.
This was before I was a felon. So, like, I wanted to work there, but she was like, oh, no, get an easier job. Like McDonald's or something. And I was like, no, I want to get something. So that job is going to pay like $1,000. So then she was making like a hissy fit. She was getting real mad. And then I was like, whatever, I'm going to leave. So when the night before I was going to leave, I was in the bathroom, like, taking a shower. And then I guess she needed me for something, but I was in the shower. So she looked in my room and she seen, like, the clothes packed up, everything packed up. And then she started crying, and then, like, my sisters. So, it's like, she started crying, screaming in the house, saying, I'm going to leave and doing this. And then she was like, why you doing that? I was like, bro, because you don't want me to work at a job. You want me to work at McDonald's, and, like, this good job is going to pay well, even though it's kind of farther. But I'd rather work there. I had a car then. I still have a car now, but. And then she was like, no. She started screaming, and my sister and everybody started like, no, just stay, just work here. So then I had got like a dishwasher job, and then like it wasn't for me. So now it's like I went to like the criminal ways, and I had to like a couple months in prison, in youthful prison, and then like what caused me to go is like I was emotional when the police was there, like at my house, and then like I was just like my mom, like like when I feel so centered, because like when somebody like surround me, like I started fighting back and just started fighting them. I kind of won.
Yeah,
But
stay close to your phone and speak right into it a little louder.
Okay, so when like like as a little kid, because like my mom, like she was like she's emotional, so like little things she used to like hit me for. So like when that happened, like when I got an adult, so like when the police came, like because I was on probation, so then out of nowhere, like I just started fighting. I don't know why I did that though. I don't even know why. I just started fighting them, and then I had to go. I got locked up. Then I'm not fresh out. I started watching a show like in June, this year June, and I just like that's when I started forgiving my father because he can't even walk no more. And when he was able to walk, he never like you said, he never really protected me. And then he used to let like my uncle, like say she would give me a whooping, like my uncle would like stop her from whooping me.
Yeah.
And he would just sit around, not do nothing. And like, I always looked at my uncle as like the father. He was like the type of dude, like he would clean up the mess outside, pick up trash. And my dad was just like I love my dad, but like he would not really like pick up trash. Like he would just leave the bottles that he would drink on the floor and stuff on the floor. And then my uncle was the type of dude, he'll like put like a stick, like a 6-inch nail and like a shoelace, and he'll tie it up and he'll just poke in the ground, picking up the trash. And then I never seen my dad do it. And then like I don't know, it's like I always looked up to my uncle, not my dad.
Yeah.
But I don't.
It's too bad. It's too bad that your mother stopped you from getting the construction job and made you do all that. But you need to, now that you're out of jail, you need to find another job and move away from your mother because she will keep you down. She won't be able to help it. And all those things she's done to you, her mother did it to her in one form or another, so she couldn't help herself. She became like her mother. So you forgive your mother no matter what she says, how she acts. I'm sorry for resenting you. You definitely created me in your image. I know now that you can't help it. And then I want to recommend you get a job, and whatever, a construction job or whatever, and look for you a place and get you a place. And
can I? Sorry.
Yeah, let me say this. Don't forget what you're about to say, but don't from this day forward, from this moment forward, don't ever call yourself a felon again. You're not a felon at all. You committed a crime. This crime happened to you, but it's not you. So don't identify as that. Don't do that. Because if you identify as that, that's how you're going to live your life as a felon. And the devil's going to make it hard for you to find jobs and all those kind of things because he's giving you another false image. That's not who you are at all.
Okay, sir.
So don't ever say that about yourself again. Don't call yourself that at all. Stop calling yourself these things.
Okay. But the question I want to throw out, like it's kind of like my dad can't even walk, so he has to sit in a wheelchair all day. Like he's one of those guys who just sit in a wheelchair, don't do nothing all day because he can't walk, and I'm like his strength because I'm like the only boy out of like 5 sisters.
Wow.
The only boy. Yeah. So like, I had it rough because like my dad had like two other girls from like other women, and then the rest with my mom.
What a mess.
And it was like, so I grew up with straight women. I'm glad I didn't come out like feminine, but I did have like feminine traits, being mad.
Yeah.
Like emotional, like my mom.
Yeah.
But I didn't come out like real feminine. So it's like, and then it was kind of like pick and choose. Like sometimes, like say it's like the dishes would be dirty. Instead of like my mom telling the girls to do it, she would tell me to do it. And I didn't even do the dishes. Or like, I didn't dirty the dishes. And I know like to clean up after myself. And like my room is always clean. But if you walk in my sister's room, it's just messy.
Yeah.
So when I was in like prison, I had talked to this OG dude. He did tell me like women are kind of messy. You should kind of like forgive. And then I started watching your show, and you said forgive. And it's like, I'm trying to do that. But it's like the emotional side like now that like I started keeping the emotion, I kind of feel it when I do get mad. Like I feel the emotion. Back then I didn't feel it. It was just happening. Now I feel it, but I be trying to control it. But I don't know how to like. It's just I just smoke weed to like control it, but I be trying.
But don't try to control it. You want to just see it. When you see it, just know that that's not you. So don't identify with it as though it's you. It's a spirit that made a home in you that was passed down to you from your mother. It's an evil spirit that came out of your mother when you became angry at her. It entered your imagination and feelings. So it's not you. So when you do deal with your mother and you get mad, you still forgive her. And that spirit will pass, man. You'll be fine. And don't try to control it. You just want to see it. Seeing it, you will see that it's not you. And so don't call it you. Don't identify with it as you. I'm telling you, you're going to be free. Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
Yeah. And I do like, I be sunbathing, and I do like a prayer, like while I'm sunbathing. Because like I look at the sun as my God, because, I'm black. So I look at the sun as my God. I kind of pray in the sun. Like I meditate in the sun. So I started like praying in the sun more. And I pray at night, like in my room too. But like every morning I wake up, I sunbathe, and I just pray and I ask God for forgiveness, and I work out. I just came from like a bike ride.
Are you doing the silent prayer, or are you just watching those thoughts?
Yeah, I do the silent prayer.
Yeah, just watch those thoughts. And the sun is not your God. There's only one God, and he's inside of you. And he's above, but he's not the sun. So you don't want any other God before God.
Okay.
The sun is just the sun. He's not your God, all right?
Okay.
So I got to run, but let me tell you this. Do the silent prayer, and during the day, if you get caught up in your thought, bring your mind back to your body. Don't be thinking of the past or future. It doesn't exist. Face your mother. And don't have any expectation from her. If you're shaking in your boots or the anger comes, you still forgive her. And find yourself a job. And as far as your father, just don't resent your father. He can help himself. And you move on with your life. You're not obligated to any of them except not to be angry at them. And when you're not angry at your parents, that's what it means to honor their parents, because you realize they did the best they could. They could not help it. So you're no longer mad at them. Don't be angry at them. That's what it means to honor them, is not to be angry at them.
Okay. How do I make like my dad and my uncle get along? Because they wasn't cool when I was growing up, but we did live all in the same house, but like they wasn't cool. But I watched like how my uncle would raise his kids, and how my dad would do it, and then it was like I gravitated towards my uncle more.
You said, how do you make them get along?
Yeah, because when I was like young and we used to all live in the same house, they didn't get along. They was like beefing. But like I always watch how my uncle would raise his son and his kids, and versus us, like my dad and my mom, and then like my uncle raised like his son better because his son is like a trucking and doing good, and then me, I'm a convict, and then my sister's.
I told you to stop calling yourself that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Like,
you're not a convict.
Yeah.
That was just a spirit operating through you, but it wasn't you.
Okay.
And as far as trying to make them, you can't make anyone get along, so don't even try. You just work on you, and let everybody else stay in their hell. Most people love their hell, so there's nothing you can do about it.
Okay. Thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome. So don't try to make them get along at all. That's between the two of them. It has nothing to do with you.
Okay. Thank you.
Let me know how it goes, all right?
All right. No problem. I will.
All right, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Amazing. It's the same spirit. The same spirit. I want to show you a quick example of the mother spirit. You're going to see this fight, and all you're seeing is the spirit of the woman, the spirit of evil. And again, it's not her spirit, but it's the spirit that made a home in her that was passed on to her from her mother. And she passed on to her children. And they're going to pass on to their children unless they overcome it, unless they forgive. This is, where did you get this from, Sean? With the white boy being beat up by these blacks. This is from X. It looked like a little white boy being literally just beat up on by angry black men, it seemed. And it's their mama in them. Watch this.
Ooh,
This is evil. This is black excellence. This is evil.
Everybody move, 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 bro. Everybody move. Everybody move, everybody move. Everybody move, everybody move. Let Cuz get up, let Cuz get up, bro. Oh, insane. We out of here, man.
It's all for the thrill of it. That evil spirit. They get a thrill beating up on this kid. That's not in Africa. That's here. And if you notice, that's here in America. And if you notice, it looked like a little white kid, or maybe I'm messing, but it looked like a white kid being beat up by the blacks. You don't hear that in the media anywhere. Just think, if it was one little black kid being beat up by a bunch of white kids, they would put the war on the back burner. They would put Israel and Palestine and Ukraine and Russia, everybody on the back burner. And this would be all that they'll be talking about. They would be calling it white supremacy, racism. You will have Tony from California calling in. Jesse, how come all the white kids beat up on the black kids all the time? But nothing about this. That is pure evil, and that is the spirit of the mother. Black children are not suffering due to racism. It has nothing to do with slavery or systemic racism. It has nothing to do with what they physically have or don't have. It's a hatred of the heart that's been passed down from their mothers. And now they know they can get away with it. They ain't going to jail. Ain't no cops coming. And it's going to get worse in the black generation from generation to generation. That's pure evil, folks. That is evil. All those boys beating up on one little kid. That's not the way it was in the good old days at all. If there was a fight without it, I hardly remember one, they would stop it. They wouldn't get involved, beat up on one person like that. Kicking him and stuff like that. They get a thrill while they're doing that to that boy, beating on him, and then he laying there helpless to them. That makes the thrill come up even more so. It makes it stronger because they feel it just, they love it. This is what wives do to their husbands, and husbands do to wives, and mothers do to their children. It's all for the thrill of it. The more pain they see coming out of the children, the more the kids cry, the more the kids get angry, it gives the mother an amazing thrill. And when she find out the father loved their children, a thrill comes like a whirlwind. This ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna make these kids and this man suffer. And I'm gonna feel real good about it. What a mess. Let me go to Mike, a first-time call out of Florida. This one line open, 888-7753-773. Mike, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse.
Hey, Mike.
I want to say God bless you, Jesse.
Thank you.
You changed my life, man. I discovered you about 5 years ago, the Fallen State. And, from there I found the radio show. I found the silent prayer. I do the silent prayer, Jesse, twice a day.
Nice.
I have consistently now for about 2 years. It was hard at first. It was hard to quiet the mind. And it seemed like a washing machine in my head sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
just all the stuff going on in there.
Yeah.
So the reason why I'm calling, mostly the reason why I'm calling you is to tell you that you're 100% right about returning to the Father. So doing the silent prayer helped me apologize to my mother, shake through my boots. Everything you said was 100% right. She's not mentally 100% there, but, you know, she kind of got what I was saying. Then there was my father. I hadn't seen him in 23 years.
Wow.
The last time I saw him, I was angry, and he appeared, and I told him to get out of my life, and he did, and I never saw him again. And, man, Jesse, I live with so much regret because of that. All these years, I drank, and I drank, and I drank so much booze. And I couldn't see my way out of it, even though I was doing the silent prayer and all that.
Right.
And I just couldn't see my way out of the drinking. Let me start. Give me 1 second here. I'm just being interrupted here. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, so I couldn't see my way out of it, and so I went to go see another program that helps with people. You know, it's a fellowship program. And they went ahead and, you know, helped me stop. So I did, and they helped me clear that last bit of my mind, and I continued doing the prayer. So I have a friend that is one of those private investigators, the kind that can get into police databases. And I've known him for a long, long time, and I've been scared to tears, just scared to even ask him for help. And it's been a year since I had a drink, and I'm sitting at my desk less than 48 hours ago. I'm eating a sandwich that I don't like. Took 2 bites of it, and this is I'm like, this sandwich sucks. And all of a sudden it popped in my head, you need to call that guy. And I've been trying so hard to be in the now, to stay focused on what's happening here right now. And I was in the now in that moment. I'm like, call him. Okay, so I called him. He answered like on the second call. We spoke for like half an hour.
You were calling your father?
Sorry, my friend. The friend that's
your friend. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
The friend that's a private investigator. I called the private investigator friend.
Right.
He answered right away. We spoke for half an hour. An hour later, I had an email with 2 new addresses that I had never found. I've been looking for them for years. And so I stopped it. Yesterday, I blew off everything. I got in the car, drove an hour and a half, and I found him, Jesse. I found my father yesterday. And I was a little scared. I didn't know if he was going to be that violent drunk that he was before, you know?
Right.
And he was doing drugs and stuff like that. And he wasn't. They brought him to me. He's old. He's about 77. I'm 52. He's kind of older. And he walks out, gets close to me so he can see me. And he looks at my face and he says, yes, it's him. You give me a hug. He greeted me with open arms, Jesse.
Amazing.
There was zero animosity between either one of us.
Yeah.
And I spent 4 hours talking with him about all those things. And as I'm sitting there, everything that you said would happen, I got stuff out of my father I never heard before. I got nothing but pure love out of him. Forgiveness. It's just amazing, Jesse. And
hold on. Can you hold Mike?
Yeah.
All right, hold on, buddy. 888-7753-773. The treasure chest is now open on D-Line. I'll be back in a moment for your phone calls and super chats and all the good things. Back in a moment. Check out my book, For Raised to Responsibility. I show you how I was able to overcome anger. The spirit of anger was taken away from me. I had it. And as a result of having anger, I was insecure. I had doubt, worry, fear. I was in a fallen state and didn't know it. And it wasn't until I went and forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father. I forgave my father for not being there and returned back to him. My spirit connected with his spirit, and through him, I was able to return to God. And I have perfect peace. Perfect love casts out anger. And when anger is gone, fear and doubt, worry, insecurity, suicidal thoughts, all of that is gone, and you are free. Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, or if you want an autographed copy, you can go to my website at rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-BOND. Amazing. Bible Thumper Thursday, 888-7753. 773-888-77-JESSE. So listen up. At 9 a.m. at the top of this hour, the Hake, Hake report.com is coming up. And James Hake is on fire from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby at 12 noon today. And tonight at 7 p.m., the men's forum for men only. Those meetings are amazing. Every first Thursday night for men only. Don't worry, ladies. Every third Thursday night for ladies only. And I have to tell you, sometimes we go overtime. The ladies are returning to the Father. That's what whole life is about, overcoming that old nature and return to the new nature, which is of God. Anyone that has anger, Satan is your daddy. Forgive your mothers and return to your fathers. And so men's forum tonight at 7 p.m. It's the first Thursday of the month. And last but not least, if you have not gone to bigclubusa.com, you are missing it. And here is what you're missing at bigclubusa.com. Watch this. People tell me I have a lot of alpha energy. Jesse, what gives you so much alpha energy, they say? Is it energy drinks? No. Is it cigars? No. It's Alpha Jerky. Alpha Jerky from Big Club USA. Alpha male, and you can have Alpha Jerky energy too. Amazing. Check it out, bigclubusa.com, and put in the promo code JLP33 for 15% off of your purchase. All right? Amazing. And thank you all for your support. We're going to get to your super chats here. You can donate by going to rebuildingtheman.com/donate. Rebuildingtheman.com/donate. We're working on a network. We do counseling, all kinds of things. All right? And thank you for your support. And it's amazing the number of people who have given back, especially since they have been helped. So thank you. I appreciate it. Let me go quickly back to Mike, a first-time caller out of Florida who found his father and forgave him. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, hey, Jesse, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize today was Thursday, Bible Thumper Thursday, and I do have some Bible thumping for you related to this story. So I called a friend, I found his information, I went up to go see him, right? So before I went up to go see him, I started to do a silent prayer, and I just brought to mind, I said, Father, I just want to be able to forgive him, clean my side of the street, and if possible, I want to know my father. That's it. And I get in the car and I go over there, and so we begin to talking and all that. And within about 10 minutes, I got to the point. I said, "Look, Father, I had hatred for you. I'm sorry. I apologize." And he says to me, "I'm sorry, but I don't remember any of that." And I said, "It's okay, but I do, and I need you to know that I had these beliefs." And he says, "Well, have them no more because they're not on my side." And
amazing.
So with that, he stopped what we were doing, and he asked us to pray out loud. And he prayed that, he said, "Father, I asked that my son get to know me. All I want is my son to know who I am." I said, "What? That's what I asked for." And so, yeah. So I had a letter that I had. All I had of him was a letter from when he was in jail back in the early 90s. And I was scared to reopen it because I forgot what was in there, and I thought he was dead. So I pulled it out and I showed it to him. I said, "Look, man, this is all I have of you." And he says, "Well, did you read it again?" I said, "No, I thought you were dead. I was scared to read it." So he opens it up, and there's 3 pages of him quoting to me stuff out of the Bible. He was Bible thumping. And we didn't get to the bottom of the first page. The bottom of the first pages of the Bible thumping started. And the first thing that he said was Matthew 6:33. What you said at the end of your intro just now today, Jesse, a little while ago. Seek the kingdom of God and all things will be added onto you.
Yeah.
That's what he wrote in that letter, Matthew 6:33. And I was like, that's the only book in the Bible I've ever read. All the others I kind of dabbled around in them. I've only ever read Matthew because you recommended Matthew some time ago. And my father's quoting Matthew to me.
Amazing.
How is all of this a coincidence? So anyway, I might not ever have a real relationship with him, but at least I know that he's alive. I can chat with him every once in a while.
Yeah.
And his parting words to me, as I was leaving, he said to me, "A man's words contaminate him. Remember this from me. A man's words contaminate him." And from that I took, it's not just the things that we do to other people. It's like it sticks to our body, and we carry that crap with us.
100%, man. What you do to others, you're doing it to yourself. And the thing I want you to know, let's say you never saw him again. The fact that you have forgiven him, now you're one with him, and you can return to God now. It happens automatically when you forgive. And so I want to encourage you to do the silent prayer, stay with it every morning, every night, and during the day. If you get caught up in thoughts, just come back to your body. And you have, I'm telling you, that's all you need to do. And do your practical life, go to work, feed yourself and all that. But you have not seen the kingdom of heaven yet. It's amazing. It's just going to get better for your mind. Your mind will be clear. You'll have perfect peace. All your needs will be met. The kingdom of heaven is amazing when you truly seek it. It is amazing. So stay with it, man. That's an amazing story.
Thank you so much, Jesse. When I watch your Sunday services, there's always something that you speak about in there, and it's almost like I wrote you a text message and say, "Hey, could you talk about this for a little bit?"
That's right.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Thank you all. Thank you, your crew. I love you guys.
Love you too, buddy. Call me again.
I will do. Take care.
All right. See, it's in every culture. It's not about this fighting. It's not about trying to get revenge. It's not about ego. I'm looking at these kids fighting on these college campuses now, and it's all vanity. Really, that's all it is, vanity. The nature of the mother, which is of evil. It's all vanity. There's nothing more than that but vanity. Let me go quickly to Ron out of Texas. 888-7753-773. Ron, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding you on the air.
Hey, Uncle Jesse, how's it going?
All is well, Ron.
Hey, I like that shirt, man.
Thank
Looks
you.
good.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. I want to do a little Bible thumping.
All right.
Revelations 1 and 18. That's Revelation 1 and 18. Jesus said he has the keys to hell and death. What does that mean to you?
Nothing. What does it mean to you?
Nothing? That means if what it means to me, if you believe in Jesus, by him having the keys of hell, he will put you in hell, and you will not have eternal life.
And how did you come up with something like that?
That's what it says. He has the keys to hell and death. He should be saying he has the keys to heaven and eternal life.
How did you come up with that? That's what that meant.
Reading comprehension.
So you think that your intellect is understanding what you just said? That meant.
Well, you're the preacher. Tell me what it means.
No, I'm asking you. You sound like you're confident that that's what it means, and you got that from your intellect, right?
Reading comprehension. You would have to tell me what he meant by him having the keys to hell.
You got that from your intellect, right?
Comprehension.
No, what does that mean?
Reading skills.
And what does comprehension mean?
To be able to understand what you're reading.
So you think what you read, you can comprehend it on your own?
Of course.
And how can you
read?
So you think that you can get understanding on your own?
Yes.
And how do you do that?
I was taught to read.
And how can you get understanding from reading?
When they put words on a paper, and when you read those words, and it's a complete sentence, it has a meaning.
How can you get comprehension from reading?
How do you get comprehension from reading? Comprehension is what you get from reading.
And how do you do that?
By reading.
How do you do that? You're not telling me how you do it.
Well, I was taught in elementary school to read.
And who taught you to get comprehension from reading?
My teacher.
And why did you believe that?
Why did I believe what? That my teachers taught me how to read?
That you get comprehension from reading.
Oh, because I read many things.
Is comprehension?
Hold on, let me answer the question.
Is comprehension and understanding the same thing?
Yeah.
And how are they the same?
Come on, it's comprehension.
How is comprehension?
Means understand. Comprehension means understanding.
How is comprehension?
You have a lot of questions, but you are preaching. You can't tell me what Jesus meant by him saying he has the keys to hell and death.
Right, I got it, Roy, but thank you, though. I don't know. I do know what it means, but I can't convince you. Your mind is already made up. Let me go to Aman out of India. Aman, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. How are you?
All is well.
Today's show was so amazing that it made me forget my question. Almost.
It's mind-blowing.
Yep. I had two questions. And, a while back you did church, and I'm going to speak fast because of the time. In the church, you recommended a movie called Revolver.
Oh, yes, Revolver.
It's such an amazing movie. I would recommend everybody listening.
Yeah. Well, how many times did you watch it?
Oh, 4 or 5 times.
Amazing. And because of time, I got to listen to some super chats and more calls. What did you get from it?
I didn't get anything. I just saw that it is the truth, but I cannot. It's not like I cannot see it in myself. But I did the silent prayer this week.
Yes.
And as I was doing the silent prayer, and I noticed that my mouth is not moving, but there is a voice inside my head, and it's leading me, giving me good thoughts. And as soon as good thoughts, I don't know why, but as soon as a good thought appears, I accept it and I get led. And literally 5 seconds later, I'm like, my mouth is not moving. Nobody's around me.
Yeah.
Nobody's speaking. How can there be a voice inside my head? And then I remembered the Revolver movie, and I was like, is that really my ego talking to me right now?
Nice. It's exactly what it is. And just knowing that is all you need to do. You're questioning that now. What's that? Who's that talking to me in my head? That's not me. I would never say those things. I would never make myself feel that way. I'm telling you, man, you are becoming more and more aware that it's not you. And as you become aware that it's not you, the not you will disappear, and eventually the real you will appear, and it's amazing. It's nothing like what you can imagine.
And I had also, similar to this question, let's say that somebody's ego has died. So is it really possible for someone to talk in their mind without speaking physically? Is that possible?
Well, once the ego completely dies, there's no more talking in the mind, because the ego is the spirit, the nature of the devil, and the devil will be taken away from you completely out of your mind and body, and the spirit of the Father will take over you completely. Your mind will be of his mind, your ways will be of his ways, your nature will be of his nature, and there will be no more thinking. No more voices in the head.
Makes sense.
So stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. All right?
Okay. Yes.
All right. Call me again, but I got to run because of time. But call me again.
Okay.
All right. All the way from India, heard around the world by everybody and their mama. Super chat. Super.
Someone bought a coffee. God has a nature of love. He is a creator God. His presence is pure. Therefore, anything other than sentiment, anything other sentiment than love is not of God. If you have any tiny amount of anger or hate or sadness in your heart, his presence, which is pure, cannot coexist. This would now be diluted. So either you have love from God in your heart or you don't. Thanks, JLP. God bless you, my brother in Christ.
Amazing. Thank you.
Henry Ford lives with a Ninja Guinea. Nice. More than 100 members of Congress have dual citizenship in Israel. In America, Israel, dual citizenship. Punishment for treason is death, he says.
The wages of sin is death. The wages of sin is death. It's so long. Oh, thank you, Lord.
Great Bible Thumper Thursday song.
You.
Mr. J bought 3 coffees. Hassan's dog and I want to give a huge shout out to Blazing Bible Thumper Bill Lockwood. I went out to the Jew store and got us a little hat since we the real Jews. Shout out to my boy Hassan Don Juan. Letting me borrow Sandy every day. Amazing.
Amazing. If you did not hear that discussion with my friend Bill Lockwood on Tuesday, last hour of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, don't fret. You will not be disappointed. Make sure you tune in, podcast it. The last hour on Tuesday, this past Tuesday. Amazing. Thank you.
Mr. Pink bought a coffee to answer the biblical question.
Are you a pitiful person?
When I was once homeless, I believe that some in the world would have seen me as pitiful, and I would have agreed with them. I no longer see myself as pitiful, as I have dropped all identities and realize it's not my responsibility to take pity on myself or others. James 5:11, Behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy.
Amazing. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Shout out to the top contributors, Henry Ford Lives, Aredja, or Areja, and Based G something, and Kid Combo 1, Rain Pipe, thank you for the lemons and diamonds and ice cream and Ninja Guineas. Right on. And thanks, guys. I do believe that's all for now.
Thank you all. D-Live, thank you. Top contributors on D-Live too. Thank you very, very much. The Hake Report is coming up at the top of this hour. No guest today, but he's still on fire at 9 a.m. Let me go to Deidre out of New Jersey. Deidre, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. How are you?
All is well,
I
Deidre.
talked to you a couple of weeks ago. I had a couple of questions. I know I'm gonna do it really quick, but remember the guy from Maine that killed the people in the bowling alley, and then he turned the gun on himself?
Never ask a black man if he remembers, but I do remember that.
Well, anyway, me and my friends was talking, and we didn't agree because they said that he could be forgiven, and I said, if you commit suicide, how can you ask God to forgive you for your sins and you kill yourself? I didn't understand that, so we didn't agree.
And you didn't agree with your friends that he can be forgiven?
Yeah, because I mean, if you, how can you ask God to forgive you your sins and then you kill yourself?
Well,
I mean, I don't know.
But what you might not understand yet is that when he committed that crime, and if he did it, when he did it, if he did it, it wasn't him, but it was that same spirit that's in you and everybody that caused him to do it. And so God already knows that it wasn't him, and as a result, God is not punishing him at all.
Oh, okay. And my next question was
all our sins have been taken away. We're no longer sinners. That's why when we forgive, stop playing God. That's what happens when you forgive, you stop judging. You automatically enter back into the kingdom. The only thing that's keeping you out is that you're unforgiving in spirit. You don't forgive, so you're playing God, and there's only one God.
Okay, understood. I agree. My question was, now I've been here. I've been in the medical field over about 30 years, and doing what I do in the hospital. And you know how they trying to have it where everybody got to do the flu shot and stuff like that,
right?
And I don't want to. So my question is, because they said that if you can have it, if you get exemption from your pastor. But if I pass away, my pastor can't speak for me on Judgment Day.
And so
but that's what they said, that would be exemption if we had a letter from a pastor saying that we, because of religious reasons, we didn't want to have the flu shot in our body. And I mean, I didn't. I mean, I guess I could get that. I could try, but I didn't feel that as a free American I had to do that. But this is what it is in New Jersey.
Well, it's up to you. If you don't like the idea, you can not do it. If you're okay with the idea, you can do it. But I wouldn't be angry about it, so you can see the right thing to do. And if let's say that they say, well, you got to do it, but you can't work here, don't get angry and just go find yourself another job.
Understood.
Yeah, just
thank you very much.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Keep it simple about not getting angry, all right?
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Call me again, Deidre.
Have a great day.
You too.
Okay, I will.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Stay away from the anger. Just stay away from the anger. Rick from Hampton, Virginia. Rick, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Jesse, everybody in their mom will listen to the Jesse Lee Peterson show for knowledge today, brother.
Oh, amazing. Good to hear from you, Rick.
You too, Jesse, man. I always want to say, like, when it comes to race issues, man, it's like we blacks keep it going. You hardly ever hear other races talk about it unless you know it's broad discussion.
Right.
But man, somebody can come in from overseas and you get around blacks. That's what they hear racism.
Well, that's because the blacks are so angry. Satan is their father. They can't see anything else but that. They're blind, and they have not gone and forgiven their mothers and grandmothers and returned to the Father. So, as I said earlier, the anger that you see in the blacks is that of their mother. It has nothing to do with the outer. It has nothing to do with slavery or anything else.
Well, you know what? It's like almost, man, no hope. I'm not saying ain't none of them not coming to the truth, you know.
Well, it's for those who want to overcome, because I know, and I meet black men and women all the time now who didn't know they needed to go and forgive them, especially the mother, and they have done it, and they're overcoming that black thinking mentality. But for those who are not working on themselves, They love it, so there's no hope for them at all.
You know, that's something I didn't do when I was a kid. I didn't have that anger.
Hey, Rick.
I always have love. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but the show is over. You call me again?
Yeah, as always, Jesse. Love you, my brother.
You too, buddy. Thank you.
Be blessed.
Bye now. I am so out of time. The Hake Report is coming up now. The Men's Forum tonight at 7 p.m. 12 noon today, the American Anchor Baby. Get on that straight and narrow path. Stay there. I don't care who else, whatever they say. You stay there and let them take the wide road of destruction. Don't try to stop them, or they'll pull you into hell with them. Hell love hell. Hell love misery. Hell hate God. Hell hate the light. All right? So do the silent prayer. Stay with it. Don't let the devil talk you out of it. In thought, stay with it. Stay with it. I'll be back tomorrow if the Lord is willing. The Creek Don't Ride. Open Line Friday. Podcast Joel Friday TV. Every Tuesday. So podcast if you missed this past Tuesday. All right? Have a good one, folks. Thank you, Super Chats and D Live and everybody. Thank you for your support. Take care. Amazing.
He put that lightning in you, igniting the truth. But you beg and blame and lie and hate and never want to stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understand in the lose. You better go talk to your mama. Better stop at the drama. Better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up and up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if we don't, then we lose. And then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa.